Hello, I'm Allison, and welcome to my weekly Meltdowns breakdown of Fear the Walking Dead, Episode 5, Cobalt. Per usual, tonight I'm going to go over 5 things I found interesting in this episode, and I will try not to be all over the place. I felt this episode was all over the place, therefore I'm going to try to keep it together as best I can and might try not to be too ADD. I'm just going to be honest with y'all. I'm very confused. There were things that went on and happened that have my brain, I can't even, mind blown. That's all I can say. Number 1, we met a man tonight. I have no earthly idea who he is. A black gentleman stuck with Nick in the makeshift hospital. I don't know who this guy is. I'm just going to call him Satan because he possessed a lot of Satan-like quality. He managed to fester up crazy fat neighbor from last week's episode to the point where he had a complete epic breakdown and he had to be removed from the cage. That is amazing. Very manipulative. He basically bought Nick with a ring and a pair of cufflinks from a soldier. I don't care how you shake a stick at it, he frickin' bought him. And Nick's like, why did you save me? And Satan is like, I didn't save you, I obligated you. I'm so fucking confused by that statement. Okay. I guess Satan made it very clear that everyone has a specific skill set that will be useful. And I guess if you have to pick between a heroin addict and a slightly overweight Zach Galifianakis kind of looking guy who abandons his family under pressure, I guess I could agree going with the heroin addict. I don't know. I've never had to make that kind of life choice, and God, I hope I never have to. He kind of breaks it down that the troops are leaving soon. And I think Satan, this is the first time we get to see a group really form outside of The Walking Dead when you have that group, the original 5 or 6 or what have you. So, you know, Satan is trying to put a group together of people that he deems necessary, have skill sets, and will be valuable. I'm thinking to him and his survival because he doesn't catch me as the kind of guy that's really going to look out for the group. But he's not stupid because he is thinning the herd. He is getting rid of people that he doesn't think will be useful or will make it. Now, apparently he's been doing this for a while because he traded a watch for someone and we don't know who that person is, but the guy is onto something, and like I said, I think this is the first time we get to actually see a group form from the inside out, and the guy is gutting from the inside out. He's coming into the corporation and saying, you're useless, get out, you're useless, get out, you can stay, you're okay. You know, maybe he wants to keep the crazies, because like I said, when the shit hits the fan, you want the crazies around because they will take care of business. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Number 2. Daniel the barber. I believe this is week 3 of him being incredibly long-winded with his life stories. I'm picking up that Barbershop Daniel did a lot of torturing to get information out of people. You know, he told the damn story 3 times or so. So I think we get it at this point. I love Daniel. I love this character. Actually, we've downgraded to liked. I get it. We get it. Totally on board. You're going to do what needs to be done. We don't need a big 20-minute monologue to back it up every time. We got it. Which brings me to barbershop guy is torturing Ophelia's boyfriend, private boyfriend. I don't know who he, whatever, private boyfriend. And private boyfriend is like, look, dude, I love your daughter. I'm going to tell you whatever you need to know. This duct tape to the chair, irrelevant, doesn't need to happen. I'm singing like a canary to you right now. I will tell you whatever you need to know. Just Daniel's like, they still skins him like a cat. Still going to town on his forearm like it's a cat. Which I have to say, I will admit, worked out in the end, because I don't think private boyfriend would have given up the goods about Cobalt had he not skinned his forearm, you know, and gone into detail ad nauseum about why he was doing it. So at this point we find out what Cobalt is. Cobalt is basically troops are getting out of Dodge, the people are staying, and when all the troops are out, they're gonna drop napalm and wipe everyone out, because basically if the civilians that are left behind can't defend themselves, they're going to become subject to the walkers. And nay, they can't have that. They can't chance these big herds. They already have like everyone in LA locked in an arena with a piss poor job, by the way, of a little piece of wood and a little chain wrapped around it. That's not going to hold shit. But still, that is what is going to go down. So he did get that information out of him. So, okay, we'll let the skinning of the cat go this time. But please, God, can we just keep the long-winded shit to a minimum at this point? I mean, basically at this point when he comes on, I'm like, okay, guys, it's good pee break time. Everyone, pee break, refills, let's go. Daniel's about to open his mouth. Oh, another thing, we learn Madison is totally on board with the torture. Like, she doesn't even bat an eye. She's on it. She's on it. She's like a buzzer on a shit wagon, all over it. So let's, you know, her basic thing is, well, you make sure to get that information out of him, okay? I have to address the 800-pound gorilla in the room, that is Travis. Travis is still a puss. I can't relay this message enough. He is still a puss. I mean, really. The biggest thing that he did this episode is go up to Sergeant Asshole and say, you know what? You're going to have a lot more to deal with than Sister Girl Ophelia chunking little pebbles at you if you don't tell people what's happening with their loved ones. So Sergeant Asshole's like, okay, big guy, Mr. Mayor Travis, we're going to load you up in the Humvee. We're going to take you to the makeshift hospital, and we're going to show you that everything is fine. And you know what? Totally trust me that you're going to come back too. So basically, on the way to the makeshift hospital, they come across this waitress walker, and this quickly turns into an ABC after school special because Sergeant Asshole is doing nothing but trying to peer pressure Travis, of all people, into shooting this walker waitress in the head with this huge ass bazooka ninja stealth rifle majig, which, shocker, he doesn't do it. So I didn't even hold my breath. I knew that dog wasn't gonna bark. I mean, come on, really? At this point, no. So after puss out number 87 of Travis, they get back in the Humvee and they're on their way to the makeshift hospital when this distress call comes over the radio, military radio, saying, hey guys, you've got to go to this building. It's been overrun. We're being overrun by the dead. So they V-line to this building and everyone gets out. And one of the guys turns around and says, hey, Travis or whatever, puss guy, you need to stay in the Humvee. And guess what? He doesn't bat an eye. He sits his ass in that Humvee, which I can't really blame him because I do the same, and he listens to the fighting going on. Well, only 2 guys come back from what just went down. And one of them is not Sergeant Asshole. And I gotta say, I'm not too sad to see that guy gone, and I don't think Travis is either. But they end up telling him, look, dude, it's time to move on. We're gonna turn this fun bus around. We're gonna get you at least more than halfway to the compound, and you're gonna have to walk back. Because we're moving on. We can't take it anymore. This brings us to number 4. The troops are totally flipping out. They are leaving. They're done with this. And I'm not quite sure. I listened to it twice, but it almost sounded like Sergeant Asshole maybe mentioned to another soldier that some of these guys really weren't soldiers. Like, a lot of them were gone, and these are civilians, and they're stepping in trying to help, and they're over it. They're done. They basically all know Cobalt is about to come down, and they're leaving. They're dropping like flies. They're either getting bit, killed, whatever, or they're just leaving. It's time to go. And I think this is very interesting because we're starting to see we had the collapse of civilization as it's coming down. Now it's hitting the ground like a safe. Number 5, Liza. Still hate her and want her face eaten off, but she's still playing nurse in the makeshift hospital. She actually finds Barbara Shop's wife, I think it's God, I can't remember her name, Rosalda or something. We'll just call her Rosalda. Finds Rosalda, and she is mumbling in Spanish. And what's her name? Liza knows exactly what she's saying, but she's not telling the doctor or anyone else what she's saying, because basically it was really crazy talking about I've seen the devil and just a bunch of shit I don't even know. Well, Rosalda ends up dying, and it is at this moment that the doctor says you have to put a bolt in their heads because this is the only way to kill them. You carry the virus. You absolutely 100% kill the virus. Carry the virus, whether you're bit or not, you will come back with it. So they give Liza this bolt gun that is basically used to put down elephants, and she puts one right in between Rosalda's eyes. They are going to laugh hysterically when they find out that you don't need a machine basically used to put down dinosaurs to kill these people. You just need a knife, something sharp, a gun, whatever. You don't need to go to this extreme. I don't know if that's just what they had or what, but that's basically, the nuts of it. They're going to learn that soon. So she puts down Rosalda, and, Travis comes back. He finds out what's going on. He finds Madison. He's pissed at her because she had something to do with the torture of Private Boyfriend. But he's there when the Cobalt speech comes out from Private Boyfriend. And you actually see for the first time on his face, not that I'm a wuss and I'm scared, but oh shit, it's about to go down. We're really about to be on our own, and we are really about to be annihilated. We basically find out at 0900 the next morning, all of the people who are left behind will be humanely terminated, not whatever, it's in the fucking Terminator, but you get the gist of it. So it's time to, Travis is gonna have to ball up now and really do something, because girlfriend, wifey, whatever she is really starting to show him up. Now we're going to get to the dumbasses of the episode. And yes, I said dumbasses, because I'm going to tell you right now, there was a fucking tie this week. And it was not like part in the Red Sea like last week to pick the two. You can only guess with enthusiasm who I'm talking about. Alicia and Chris. What the fuck was that about? I could have done without that whole ordeal. Going into a rich person's house, trying on their clothes, breaking shit, drinking champagne. And what the hell was up with that creepy ass over the shoulder incestuous grin that Alicia gave Chris? That made me sick. Really? No, I don't care if your steps. It's still wrong, and I don't get it. That just threw me off. 100% irrelevant. This entire scene was irrelevant. All it boiled down to is they're sneaking around and they see Humvees going by and they're just leaving, they're not patrolling. So it basically came down to, oh look, the two angry for no reason teenagers are noticing that the troops are leaving. Didn't need that whole scene of dressing up in tuxedos and ball gowns. I will say, however, I was kind of glad to see Alicia may not have been in pants, but at least she had on a ball gown covering up her legs. Because I'm telling you, she's not Rosita. She's not Rosita from The Walking Dead. Even Rosita put on pants after a certain point. You put on pants. Okay, so that's where we are with Fear the Walking Dead. Next week is the season finale. I can't wait, basically, because we get this out of the way and we can get to The Walking Dead. I thought it was a great episode. There was a lot of monologue going on. I think the actors did great. I love Ruben Blades, who plays Daniel. He did a great job. But if I wanted to see this kind of shit, I would still DVR Days of Our Lives. But yeah, I don't anymore. With that being said, please, 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 please subscribe to my weekly meltdown on YouTube. Please, please, please go like my weekly meltdown on Facebook and stalk the hell out of me on Twitter at Summers1977, and that's SOMMERS 1977 on Twitter. And as I always say at the end of these things, I really do genuinely hope that every single one of you are happy and doing what you were meant to be doing with your lives, and do whatever you want, do whatever makes you happy. But just, I'll leave you with these final words. Are you Satan, or are you private boyfriend? You know, these things make sense in my head before I say them, and then I hear them and they don't. But I will see you guys next week.